I am sitting in a very unique wheelchair. It's made by a company named Not a Wheelchair. I know, strange name for a wheelchair company. We'll talk about that later. What's unique about this chair isn't that the frame or the components are that different from other wheelchairs on the market. In fact, it looks just like any other chair. What's unique about this chair is the price. It's a custom manual wheelchair with all the necessary components. Backrest, side guards, push rims, wheels, tires, basically everything but the cushion. And it's priced at $999, which, if you know anything about wheelchairs, is so cheap. So let's take a look at the newest wheelchair on the market and see if it's any good. Not a Wheelchair is the company founded by Zach and Cambry Nelson. Zach runs the YouTube channel Jerry Rig Everything, which focuses on DIY build and repair projects for everything from consumer electronics like smartphones or tablets to huge projects like a wheelchair accessible bunker in his backyard. Cambry is a para and a manual wheelchair user, and the company started Not a Wheelchair 4 years ago to sell an adaptive off-road device called the Rig. I'll let Zach describe it here.
It's hard to define exactly what this is. What do you call a chair with 4 wheels, off-road capabilities, totally silent, super fast, and a pretty long range? I'm not really sure either, but it's definitely not a wheelchair.
For the past 4 years, they've been pouring their YouTube money into designing and building a facility to manufacture an affordable, mass-produced wheelchair. About 2 months ago, I got to visit the Not a Wheelchair facility in Utah. It's a super impressive place, 26,000 square feet, with all sorts of state-of-the-art equipment, like this computer-controlled laser cutter that can cut like 30 holes in a piece of tubing in just a minute or two. And this robotic bending machine that can make the perfect bends down to like a tenth of a degree. The manufacturing process was really interesting, and I go into it along with the business side of things, including why Zach and Cambry aren't making any money from these wheelchairs, in the cover story that I wrote for this month's issue of New Mobility. The link to that story is in the description if you want to learn more. But let's be honest, neither the manufacturing process nor the business model really matter if these chairs aren't any good. And I'll admit, I was a little skeptical of what the build quality was going to be when I first heard about Not a Wheelchair's plans. But once you start to look at the components, there's a lot to like.
The frame is a monotube aluminum design, similar to a Tylite Aero Z. It has an adjustable center of gravity and an adjustable rear seat height. I put my center of gravity at about 3 inches and lowered the rear seat height as much as possible because I found that position gives me a strong push and good stability while keeping weight off my front casters.
I also tried raising the seat as high as it'll go just to see what that felt like, but that didn't go so well. The backrest is a rigid backrest that Not a Wheelchair manufactures themselves. It's removable and has some angle adjustment, though not as much as I'd like given how much you can change the rear seat height. It's pretty comfortable though, with thick padding, and the cushion is secured at the top so it shouldn't slide down and expose the hard metal edge. It comes standard with scissor-style wheel locks. They work fine. Nothing special, but they will hold you in place as long as you have them adjusted correctly. For the wheels, Not a Wheelchair partnered with Vapor Wheels to make an inexpensive house brand model of Vapor's aluminum rim wheels. For a base model wheelchair wheel, I love them. They feel as light as any other non-carbon wheel on the market, and so far they're holding up really well. I've been running these for about a month and a half, bumping up and down curbs, pushing over bumps and on rough pavement and dirt, and the spokes are all still tight and no issues with wheel wobble. They feel solid. Other nice touches include Schwalbe's Right Run tires. Certainly not the best wheelchair tire out there, but a reasonably lightweight, quality entry-level tire. Casters are 4 by 1.5 inches, which is my preferred caster size because the wider profile does a noticeably better job handling dirt and gravel. If you loosen up the caster stem bolt, you can change your caster angle, so you can put bigger tires on the back or change your front caster size or position without messing up your front caster angle. So, overall, I give the chair a quad thumbs up for both design and components. Let's take it for a spin. Pushing on pavement, the chair feels smooth. It's not all rattly like some cheap aluminum chairs can be. I don't push as well as I do in my Tylite TR. That's likely because Not a Wheelchair doesn't yet offer some of the more complicated frame angles like ergo seating that I use to dial in the seating position on my current chair. They say the more frame customizations are coming soon though. Off-road, the chair does fine, even with skinny tires. This frame weighs slightly more than my titanium-framed chair, but having your seating position adjusted to fit your needs and the wheelchair skills to push over rough ground without flipping over backwards or pitching forward are going to be a lot more important for whether you can navigate terrain like steep, unpaved hills than the material the frame of your wheelchair is made out of. That is a steep hill. So my overall impression is that this $999 chair is totally solid. It's not fancy, but it works. There are a lot of small touches that make you realize they had wheelchair users involved in the design process, and it's way better quality than I expected given the price. If you want to learn more about Not a Wheelchair or order your own, go to notawheelchair.com. We'll also put the link in the description. Once Not a Wheelchair has all their systems running, they'll be able to ship you a chair just a few weeks after you order it. So in short, it's an inexpensive wheelchair made with quality construction and solid components that's way easier and quicker to order than other wheelchairs. It's not perfect, but no chair is. This one seems worth it to me.